Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Vapor Sports. We have our Week 4 recap and Week 5 predictions for you today. Recording this a day late just because of some scheduling conflicts, but we're here now. Another great week of football, I think. Obviously, it started with the Broncos and Jets, which we already talked about, so we won't be talking about that in this video. But crazy week with the Corona. We had some upsets, and then the doubleheader on Monday night. I mean, every week I've said has been pretty entertaining, but I don't know. This might be the first now. So we're just gonna jump right into it. Let's start off with the Rams and the Giants. We'll be talking about a little bit of football, but mostly about the brawl afterwards.
Yeah, so pretty subpar game, but the Rams are now 3-1. Score was 17-9. As far as stats, quarterback Jared Goff for the Rams was 25 out of 32 on completions, 200 yards and a touchdown. And Cooper Kupp had 5 catches for 69 as well as a touchdown. As well as for the Giants, again, they're 0-4, unfortunately. Daniel Jones, 23 out of 36, 190, and 1 interception. And Darius Slayton with 3 catches for 48. So not really that many offensive points, but the Rams come out with a win.
All right, yeah. Didn't watch any of the game. I just want to talk about it because of the fight afterwards. So from what I know, I believe it was Jalen Ramsey was dating Golden Tate's sister, and she had a pregnancy, and he left when he found out that she was pregnant, which is really messed up, but unfortunately it does happen pretty often. So things were a little heated between him and Tate. Jalen Ramsey had a very nice tackle on Golden Tate. Obviously, it might have been fueled a little bit by that feud. But towards the end of the game, at the end of the game, looks like they got into a little bit of a fight. It was hard to see with the camera angle that we have, but it looks like it was quite a few people just piled onto each other, just pushing, shoving, maybe a few punches in there. But yeah, that's crazy, man. And then I also heard that Jalen Ramsey waited outside the Giants locker room afterwards to try and continue the fight, which he was, of course, asked to leave, understandably. So, yeah, that's pretty hilarious that that happened, especially since it's so personal. A lot of times it's like pushing and shoving on the football field. It happens, and then after the game, most people are like, "Hey, we're cool, man," because that's just kind of the nature of the game in a lot of ways. But the fact that it was so personal was kind of crazy. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's not really that important. More the fact that all I remember is the Jalen Ramsey, like, he just leveled Tate on the field. That's funny because my name's Tate. Anyway, yeah, it's not really that important, but it kind of goes to show how some feuds off the field are translated onto the field. So
Right, right. All right, let's move on. We got the Chargers and the Bucks, I believe. Tom Brady threw 5 touchdowns. He's the oldest player in NFL history to throw 5 touchdowns. I did see that.
yeah, he also had a pick six, but they got the win. 38-31 Bucks. Tom Brady was 30 out of 46, 369 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception. On the ground, Ronald Jones II with 20 carries for 111. Leading receiver was Mike Evans. However, he believe he has some kind of injury, so just watch out for that. He had 7 catches, 122, and a touchdown. And Tom Brady also threw touchdowns to O.J. Howard and Scott Miller. Also, I believe O.J. Howard might be injured as well.
All right, awesome. So, yeah, I watched like the first half of this game, so my view on the play is kind of skewed. I was really pulling for the Chargers there, which I really shouldn't be, but I just dislike Tom Brady that much. Yeah, I mean, everyone was saying Tom Brady is washed up, and I was on that train. But he looked pretty good other than the pick six that he threw, which, I mean, if you throw 5 touchdowns, I think 1 interception isn't going to be the worst thing in the world. But, yeah, I guess it's still early. Things could go wrong for the Bucks still, but so far I was dead wrong about Tom Brady along with a lot of other people. So,
Yeah.
to him, I guess. I hate to say it.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay defense did a lot better than the past couple weeks. They held the Chargers to 49 or 46 yards on the ground. And again, for the Chargers, there's still hope for Justin Herbert. I think he'll learn as the season goes on, but he's shown improvement.
Yeah,
And yeah,
definitely.
it's only first
No,
couple
he
games, so
should. Yeah, no, he's played quite well, honestly. I'd be enthusiastic if I was a Chargers fan, for sure. All right, let's move on to the one of the Monday night doubleheader games, Chiefs and Patriots, which happened a bit early. I know the Chiefs did win that. It was close to the end. Final score doesn't really show that, but I pretty good game. There were some pretty lousy calls for sure. Patriots definitely should have gotten that interception for a big gain afterwards, which that was just a ridiculous call. And then they said they couldn't review it. The refs said that Belichick couldn't challenge, which was even more ridiculous. So yeah, that was bad. That's all. That's all I'm thinking about when it comes to that game. But besides that, very good game. Very close. Patriots defense really showing what it's made of. They really kept the game close with the Chiefs, despite both New England quarterbacks playing pretty subpar football. Stidham was looking good when he first came in, but then he threw the 2 interceptions. So yeah, I definitely think it would have been an even closer game if the Patriots had Cam Newton.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I would say that probably on the Chiefs, you know, I think they have shown like really good games as far as offense. And not saying that the factor of Cam Newton would have made a difference, but I think, um, yeah, I mean, they just have to kind of figure out both sides of the ball. They have a spectacular offense. I think it's just when they're playing like good teams, as we saw in the Ravens. If the Ravens had actually, you know, run the ball with Lamar Jackson and kind of got their offense going, I think it would have been a closer game. You can probably
Yeah.
say the same about the
Well,
Patriots, but
I
yeah,
definitely think the Chiefs have a very underrated defense. It's not like it's a top 5 defense, but I think it's
yeah,
it's still a defense that's good enough that they can make runs in the playoffs like they did last year. I think the defense is definitely the unsung heroes of their playoff and Super Bowl run last year, and I think they're going to continue to be that way.
yep.
All right, let's move on to the power rankings. We're doing the ESPN power rankings here, so let's see. Let me pull it up real quick. I'll kick this off with the Jets. This is interesting. I'm not gonna like normally say this, but right now, they have a 0.2% chance of making the playoffs. I'd take that if I was a Jets fan. I mean, they're staying at
Yep.
32, but there's nowhere lower to go. I'm pretty sure they'd be about 38 right now if there were more teams. But yeah, they lost to a Broncos team that is just incredibly banged up. Their defense was just god awful in that Thursday night game against a third string quarterback, even though they did have 3 interceptions. And the offense was fine, but they weren't really clutch when they needed to be. They scored 28 points. Well, I mean, they scored 21 points, but they weren't converting when they really needed to, like at the end of the game. All right,
Yeah,
moving on.
it's okay. Anyway, New York Giants are 31. Again, they haven't moved either. They lost to the Rams this week. And yeah, they're still without Saquon, so not really much to be hopeful for.
Yeah, rough time to be a New York football fan.
Yep.
We got the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're moved down 3. Gardner Minshew's looked pretty good, but I think this is honestly just as expected pretty much. They're just on schedule with what is supposed to happen to their team, considering they've dropped basically everyone. I do feel bad for Gardner Minshew, but yeah. They're definitely one of those teams that is kind of like a bye week for your team. Kind of like the Jets.
All right. Atlanta Falcons are still 0-4. They didn't blow a lead, but they didn't look that great on offense. Notably, Calvin Ridley I know that without Julio Jones, someone had to step up, but he had 0 catches in that Green Bay game. So yeah, it's a little disappointing. They went down 3 spots from 26 to 29.
Yep. All right, so number 28, we have the Denver Broncos. 4.6% chance to make the playoffs according to this. I want to throw in there, I mentioned to Tate earlier, the NFL official power ranking that the NFL puts out actually has the Broncos as 24. But yeah, so I think if they can get a lot of players back, they'll have a shot at the playoffs, but it all depends on how quickly they can get back and if they can get back to playing at 100%. But yeah, this is definitely going to be for the rest of the season. I think it's going to be take it easy, see what Drew Lock's made of. But yeah, not too much to say about the Broncos. They did get their first win, but it was against the worst team in the NFL. So moving on.
All right, Cincinnati, again, they have a tie against the Eagles a few weeks ago. They moved up 3 spots to 27. I mean, yeah, Joe Burrow's been looking a little better, and hopefully that will continue throughout the season. They also have a 7.6% chance of making the playoffs.
Yep. All right, so we have the Washington football team moving down 1 spot. Apparently, still a 10% chance of making the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, I'm really pulling for the football team because of Ron Rivera. They surprised him with that thing they did in the stadium. I really am pulling for them, but they don't really have too much going on there, so not a great chance of them going very far.
All right, 25, Detroit Lions went down 2 spots from 23. Yeah, I mean, again, they have some hope, but it's not looking too great, and they do have a lot of tough rivals in the NFC North, such as the Bears and Packers. So, and really, over the years, you haven't really seen too much progress as far as wins coming out, and that's really what Patricia needs
Right.
to maintain his job. So, yeah, I mean, it's still disappointing for the Lions, but yeah.
All right, so at number 24, we have the Dolphins, who are staying at number 24. They lost to the Seahawks, which are one of the best teams, and they actually kept it quite close. So I actually wouldn't have been surprised if they moved up a spot or two, but it does depend on the other teams as well. Bit of Fitz magic. But again, they're in that rebuilding stage. They definitely picked up some good pieces in the offseason, but it's going to take more than just this year to get back in it.
Yeah, so 23, some news that came out a few days ago was that unfortunately Bill O'Brien has been fired from the head coach role. So while the Texans are now 0-4, they've lost to the Chiefs, Ravens, Steelers. Again, they're all good teams. It's just more, I think a lot of people were not expecting this to happen that quickly.
Yeah, both the 0-4 start. It's definitely a little easier to fire him. Number 22, we have the Carolina Panthers moving up from 29. A bit of a surprise, I would say, especially against the Cardinals, who a lot of people are expecting to be a pretty solid wild card team this year. But yeah, I mean, considering they're out without Christian McCaffrey and their defense is still kind of being built right now, I would be very pleased with this ranking if I was a Panthers fan, and Bridgewater's looking like he's starting to come to his role now.
Yep. All right, 21. The Vikings stay where they are. They got a win over the Texans this weekend. Yeah, I mean, honestly, probably the player that stood out to me the most was Justin Jefferson. He had 4 catches for 103 yards. He's become a valuable target for Kirk Cousins, who didn't really start off that great in the first couple of weeks. But
right.
I mean, it was against the Texans, but yeah, there is some hope for them when they will have to play some better opponents.
All right, so next we got the Eagles, who are 1-2-1, tied with the Bengals. Just won against the 49ers. Even though the 49ers are pretty banged up, I would still feel good about that win, especially in San Francisco. So they move up 2 spots here. They're number 1 in the NFC East right now. So I don't know how good I'd feel about being an Eagles fan, but I'd feel good about being in that division.
Yeah. All right. At 19, the Los Angeles Chargers again. They stay where they are. Stay where they are. I'm sorry. Um, Austin Eckler is out with a knee injury, I believe, so they will need their backups to step up as far as the running game. But yeah, I mean, there's still hope for Justin Herbert, so we'll see what happens with them.
Yep. All right. So next we got the Dallas Cowboys, who are 1-3. Somehow still have a 68% chance of making the playoffs, even though the Chargers only have a 5.6 chance and the Broncos have a 4.6 chance. I don't really understand where they get these percentages. Yeah, their offense is really fucking good. Dak Prescott is playing well. A lot of his numbers are coming in garbage time, but I think numbers are still numbers. I still think they're worth something. But yeah, they're like last year. They're not winning close games. So yeah, 49 points to Cleveland is not a very good thing to be doing as a defensive core. So yeah.
All right. 17 Las Vegas Raiders. Again, they played a close game against the Bills, but they moved down 2 spots from 15. Yeah, I mean, it was a close game. It just didn't really get done. I really don't have much to have a take because I didn't watch that game. But again, they're 2-2, so.
Yep. All right. So next we got the Arizona Cardinals. They moved down a few spots. They lost to the Panthers, which you don't shouldn't be feeling too good about that. We'll see. The Arizona Cardinals, they are very much a mystery box in my eyes. I picked them the last 2 weeks because they had looked so good in the first 2 weeks, and then they lost me both those games. So yeah, I don't really have much to say. We'll just have to see what they do going forward.
Yeah. All right, 15 Chicago Bears are no longer unbeaten. They are 3-1 now. They moved down 1 spot. They still have a 40% chance of making the playoffs, but was kind of a somewhat ugly loss to the Colts. So yeah, they moved down 1 spot from 15.
Cool. We got the Cleveland Browns scored 49 points against the Cowboys. Beat the Cowboys, move up 4 spots. Pretty good. I mean, 49 points and Baker Mayfield only threw like 1 touchdown, so feel pretty good as a Browns fan.
Yeah, Jarvis Landry threw one also.
That's right. Yeah,
And Odell had a spectacular game.
he really did.
But
Yeah.
also Nick Chubb. It sounds like will be out for a few weeks.
Yep.
All right. 13, we had the 49ers. Again, they lost to the Eagles this weekend. Only highlight I remember from that game was I think it was Brandon Ayuk like hurdling the Eagles
Yep. I saw that
defender
a
and
million
scoring.
times on social media.
Yeah, so they moved down 2 spots from 13, or sorry, from 11. They still have a pretty good chance of making the playoffs, 61.4. But they still have some injuries to tend to.
Yep. So next we got the Colts moving up 4 spots. I'm pretty high on the Colts right now. I picked them in our predictions this week, and I don't think you did, but I like their
Yeah, I did
defense.
not.
I really like their defense. And I think as long as Philip Rivers doesn't play terribly, I think they'll have a good shot at making, a playoff run, possibly a game or two in the playoffs. We'll have to see. I think the wild cards. Well, actually, I think depending on what happens with the Titans, I think it's opening up for them a little bit.
All right. At 11, we had the Buccaneers. Again, they got a win this weekend. Tom Brady looked pretty well as far as other than that pick six. And they had that 17-point comeback. So they move up 1 spot to number 11.
Yep. All right, moving down 1 spot is the Patriots. They lost a close one to the Chiefs. Can't argue with this too much because their defense is looking good, and hopefully Cam Newton will be back soon. Whenever Cam Newton gets back, I think they'll be going back up. So wouldn't be too worried as a Patriots fan right now.
Yeah. All right. At number 9, we have the Saints. Again, they're 2-2, moved up 1 spot. Again, without Michael Thomas, it will kind of be interesting to see who steps up. But yeah, I mean, there is some hope. They're really just a mystery team as well. They've had some good games, but again, some of their losses, like to the Raiders, aren't really that inspiring as far as my point of view.
Yep. So we got the Rams staying at number 8. Kind of an ugly win against a really terrible team in the Giants. So, yeah, I think the Rams are also a bit of a mystery. We know their offense is going to be pretty good as long as Sean McVay's there, and they have, of course, Aaron Donald. So we'll see where they go, especially in the division they're currently in, competing with the other three teams. Really, the NFC West is definitely the best division right now. So we'll see what they do. They'll definitely be fighting for that wild card spot.
All right. At number 7, the Steelers didn't play this week, so they didn't move at all. Again, their game was canceled due to the COVID stuff. Yeah, there's not really much to say about them other than that they're still unbeaten. So, and they do play the Eagles this weekend. So, yeah,
Yep.
let's see if they can get a win.
Next, we got the Titans, who also didn't play. They're still undefeated. Their chance to make the playoffs is 69%, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, we'll have to see if they even get to play anymore this season with the amount of players who have COVID and staff who have COVID. So we'll have to see where that goes.
All right. The Buffalo Bills are unbeaten as well. They stay at number 5. Honestly, Josh Allen is looking pretty good. And
Yep.
that one nice bomb to Stephon Diggs, that set up, I believe, a touchdown drive, and that kind of sealed the game from there. So yeah, they've been looking pretty good. I believe they're really a legit challenger to the Patriots and possibly the rest of the AFC. So
Yeah. I think the Bills and the Steelers are the teams that are solid enough to possibly beat the Ravens. So we'll see where that goes. We got the Ravens at 4, moving down 2 spots. I mean, they beat Washington, the football team, but yeah, the Ravens. We'll see if they have the same level of greatness that they had last year in the regular season. I'm not feeling too good. I mean, they'll make the playoffs. I'm pretty sure they'll have at least a wild card spot if the Steelers keep playing really well. But yeah, we'll have to see where they go.
yeah, Lamar Jackson is 22-1 in the regular season against teams not named the Kansas City Chiefs. He's still 0-3 against Patrick Mahomes. Anyway,
That's right.
Green Bay Packers are 4-0. They looked pretty good on Monday Night Football. Again, they beat the Falcons, who aren't really that great. They also moved up one spot. And yeah, I mean, without Devontae Adams, they've had some other guys step up. I forgot the name of the tight end, but I believe he had 2 touchdowns. But yeah, he was pretty good. That connection worked well with A-Rod.
Yeah, I would feel pretty optimistic on if I was gonna bet money on Aaron Rodgers winning the MVP. There's a lot of people in the MVP race right now, which it's early in the season, so obviously that's gonna happen. But every single one of them seemed like a really, really good option. Seahawks move up 1 spot. I mean, they barely beat the Dolphins. Russell Wilson did take a step back from his pretty much insane start to the season, but I wouldn't feel too bad about it. It's not like you can throw 5 touchdowns every single game, but they came out with the win, and then the NFL, that's all you can really ask for. So it's looking pretty good for the Seahawks.
Yep. All right, and finally, Kansas City Chiefs are still unbeaten. They remain at number 1. Yeah, there's not really much to say. They look like the best team right now, and they're still probably going to be Super Bowl contenders, but unless someone looks really good and either beats them or they slip up, then maybe we'll see. But they stay at number 1, and they do deserve it.
Yep. All right, let's move on to our predictions now. So let's just jump right into it. We got the Bucks and the Bears. I'm gonna go Bucks. I think Tom Brady's definitely getting into a groove. I think this game will be very close, but I do think the Bucks will pull it out in a close one.
Yeah, I believe the Bucks will also. I think they will win. I think Tom Brady will step it up from last game and maybe have another 5. Not have another 5 touchdown game, but something similar.
Right.
The Bears defense is pretty good as well. So, but yeah, I got the Bucks.
All right, so we got the Rams at the football team. I'm gonna go Rams. I just think they have more of a complete team. Still not super high on them, but I don't think they're gonna lose to a team like the football team.
Yeah, I got the Rams over the Washington football team as well. I don't really have that much insight, but yeah, I got the Rams.
So we got Bills at Titans, if that game is, of course, played. I think this is going to come down the wire, possibly overtime. I think it's going to be in between like 17 to 14 to like maybe 28 to 27 or something like that. It's going to be a very close game. Both teams have pretty sound groups on both sides of the ball, but I'm just going to go Bills, especially since this Titans had this mini outbreak, and the Bills are kind of looking like they're getting pretty hot right now. So I'm going to go Bills.
Yeah, I'm gonna go safe, and I'm gonna go with the Bills as well. They've been playing pretty good. We don't really know how rusty the Titans will be, or really what they will be like after 1 week. But I got the Bills in this one.
Okay. We got Eagles at Steelers. I'm gonna go Steelers simply because I don't think the Eagles offense is gonna do much of anything against the Steelers defense, and I think as usual the Steelers offense will put up enough points that the game won't even be close.
Yeah, I'm going with my team Steelers as well. I'm just really hoping that the offense kind of clicks in some of these upcoming games.
All right, so we got Cardinals at Jets. I think Cardinals will. I said they'd bounce back last week. They didn't. I think they'll bounce back this week, especially since it's not the Panthers who have somewhat of a team. It's the Jets who have almost nothing other than a quarterback. So I'm going to go Cardinals pretty soundly here.
Yeah, things aren't looking too good for the Jets. I also feel bad for Frank Gore because I didn't even know he was on the Jets until I saw that game. But yeah, they're kind of wasting his time there. So anyway, I got the Cardinals.
All right, so then we got the Raiders at Chiefs. I'm going to go Chiefs. I think the Raiders or the Chargers, and maybe even the Broncos if they can get in a groove. I think a divisional team will steal a game against the Chiefs, but I don't think it'll be at Arrowhead. So I'm going to go Chiefs here.
Yeah, I'm going safe with the Chiefs as well. I think the Raiders will probably out of those teams be the most challenging, but yeah, Chiefs this week.
All right, so we got Jaguars at Texans. I think this game could be pretty close, but I think the Texans will play out for their new interim head coach. I think they'll play hard, and they will I think they'll leave everything out on the field. I think the Texans locker room knows that if they don't win this game, then they're probably just going to be like the laughing stock of the NFL, besides the Jets. So I think they're going to stick it out. They're going to leave it all on the field. It's going to be a scruffy game, but I think the Texans are going to pull one out.
Yeah, I'm going with the Texans as well. I think Deshaun Watson will have a better game. Yeah, I mean, for him, it's just more everything around him is not as good as what I know that he is, because I know that he is an MVP type of player, but it's more the team that he's playing for doesn't support him in that way. Anyway, I got the Texans.
Okay, so we got Bengals at Ravens. I'm gonna go Ravens in I think Joe Burrow will have another good game, but I just think the Ravens are just so much better than the Bengals, so I'm gonna go safe with the Ravens here.
Yeah, I'm going Ravens as well. I think Lamar Jackson will have a better game as well.
All right, so then we got Panthers at Falcons. I think this game will be really close, but I'm going to go Panthers because it seems like the Panthers might be trending up. Falcons are trending way down. I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons won one against the Panthers, but I think the Panthers have a much better chance, so I'm going to go Panthers.
Yeah, I think the timetable for Dan Quinn is starting to tick down, and this game might be one of the deciders, but I have the Panthers in this one.
All right, so we got Dolphins at 49ers. 49ers pretty banged up, but I'm going to go Niners in a pretty close one, but I think the Niners offense will do just enough that they can win this one.
Yeah, I got the Niners as well. I think their offense will be a little bit better, and I don't believe this will be as close to a game as the Eagles and 49ers one was.
So we got Giants at Cowboys. I think this is going to be another very high-scoring game. I think the Cowboys could win by double digits. I think the Cowboys could score in the 40s in this game and win by double digits. And, yeah, so I'm going to go Cowboys on this one.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys kind of saw what Browns can do on offense, and if they can replicate that kind of effort, they'll definitely beat the Giants. So I got Dallas in this one.
Okay, so we got Colts at Browns. This is our first disagreement of the week. I'm going to go Colts because I'm very high on their defense, and I think this will be a generally pretty close game. I think it'll be one score, or I think it'll be single digits, maybe double score game. but we'll see. I'm gonna go Colts just because I think their defense will keep them in the game.
Yeah, well, I picked Dallas last week, and I think you did too. I'm just gonna say and go off a hinge that I think the Browns might have a chance in this one. I actually believe it'll be close, but I agree with your point on the Colts defense, but I do like the Browns offense in this one.
All right, sweet. So next we got the Broncos and the Patriots. I've chosen the Broncos pretty much every week except for the Steelers, but I just think it's even if they don't have Cam Newton, it's such a hard team and such a hard place. It'd be hard to pick the Broncos in this one, so I'm gonna go Patriots for sure.
Yeah, I mean the Broncos beat the Jets. It's not really that much to say. The Patriots lost to the Chiefs, but that was without Cam. So I'm gonna go with the Pats in this one.
Yeah, I think even without Cam, they'll win. We got Vikings at
Yeah.
Seahawks. I think Seahawks are just gonna score a lot of points again. I'm gonna go Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks have been looking a lot better. Vikings, again, they're not that bad. It's just more, I think the Seahawks are a lot better. So yeah, Seattle in this one for me.
All right, and then we have our last disagreement. We have Chargers at Saints. I'm gonna say the Chargers pull off a bit of an upset here. I'm gonna say that Justin Herbert shows out again, and I'm gonna say it's gonna be pretty close, maybe like 27-24, something like that. And I think the Chargers will pull off an upset here.
Yeah, well, I'm not that much of an upset guy, but I'm just gonna go safe with the Saints. Hopefully, they can be able to regroup this week. And yeah, I think it'll be a close game, but I got the the Saints in this one.
All right, awesome. So that's the end of our predictions. Thanks for checking in, guys. Another crazy NFL week. We might have another video before the actual games come out. Maybe a finals video if the finals wrap up before Sunday. We'll see if that
I was
happens.
hoping to do more videos for that. I just didn't have time.
Yeah, we'll probably get a collective one out where it's me and Tate before Sunday. So thanks for checking in, guys. We'll have more videos coming out soon. Like, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. We've been putting out quite a few videos. We've been working hard on these, and we will see you guys next time.
Peace.